Have you ever bought a craft supply and needed a way to actually use it? That's what we're going to be doing today in day 26 of Craftoween. Welcome back to the series. It's Bobi, aka Paginator. Okay, so if you can't tell, I forgot to turn on my microphone, so we're going to be doing voiceover for a good share of this video. I have this metal ribbon that I picked up at the $1.25 tree store, also known as Dollar Tree, and it was in the ribbon section. It was actually called metal ribbon. It is quite bendy metal, and I grabbed it thinking it would be cool to play with. So today we're going to try to find a way to use it. I'm also going to be pulling some papers that I got from Temu in hopes that I can use up some of those as well. Here are the papers that came from Temu, these small packages. And I am just checking. That one has a snake skeleton on it, so I'm definitely not going to use that. And I'm taking a look at just some different pages, and then I saw this one that said haunted house, and I got an idea. Just kind of jumped into my mind. Like, what if that paper was your invitation to go to a haunted house? So I'm going to be folding it in half, and it will create a card that will open up to give journaling space. So since we're going to be doing an invitation to a haunted house, I grabbed my haunted houses that I got digital printables of from Etsy, and I'm just looking to see which ones might fit. What I ended up pulling were some of the smaller pieces that I thought would make a good haunted house for this particular spread. So this is the page or two pages that I want to work on, and I'm noticing that it's sitting really unevenly because this journal is getting pretty chunky. So I'm talking about how I need to find a way to even that up to make it a flatter surface to work on. So I'm going to grab a couple of books from my table and just use those to prop it up. So I'm adding Prince of Thorns and Nightmares and Foxglove underneath that side just to make the surface more flat to work on. We're going to check out some of the haunted houses that I picked. That one's kind of facing the wrong way. And I'm just looking at some of these more narrow houses here. Those have quite a bit of orange on them. And then this one I ended up really liking because that pale yellow that you see toward the bottom of the house works really nicely with the yellow of the lace on the right-hand side of the page. Before I glue the house down, I want to do some soft edging with Black Soot Distress Oxide. So I'm taking my makeup brush and just doing the edges around there. Now I'm just measuring that metal ribbon, and I found by just bending it back and forth, I was able to break off a piece to the length I needed, and that way I didn't have to try to mess with my scissors and potentially harm them by cutting through little pieces of metal. I'm going to use Fabri-Tac to try to adhere the metal ribbon. I didn't want to go to hot glue with metal because that would heat up the metal and potentially injure myself. So the Fabri-Tac actually ended up working really nicely. And if you have something that's thin metal like this, whether you get some of the same ribbon at Dollar Tree or whatever, I highly recommend using some Fabri-Tac first just to see if that will work so you don't have to maybe burn yourself. Now it's time to ink around the card that's going to flip open. I also wanted to go for that little bit of grungy black soot look with a softer edge, thinking of it almost like dust that accumulates around an old house or a haunted house kind of thing. And I'm going to do that in the middle of the card as well. After I glued down the card, I got the idea to use one of the altered paper clips that we made during another Craftoween video to slide onto there. And of course that means I need to make something to slide under the paper clip because I would rather it not just sit there by itself. I have a Headless Horseman kind of tarot card thing that I'm going to back with some coffee and bubble dyed paper. It is from a horror tarot deck that I probably got on Temu. And there's the bubble dye paper you can see there I'm going to put on the back of it. Oh my gosh. You guys, I think I have filmed this entire video up to this point with the sound off. No. So if you've been listening to voiceover, that's why. I'm a dummy. Do a little bit of inking with just the edge of the pad. Alright, so we've got a journaling card to stick in here. Do we want it facing out, or do we want it facing like this? I think we want it facing like that, which means I want to put a tiny little something. So we're going to get another one of these tiny orange pumpkins, and it's going to go onto the journaling card. Now, do I want it here or here? I think I want it there. Just pop you right there. So we now have a card to journal on, this space here, as well as the inside of this here. Okay, so this was not what I expected to do at all, but I have used the metal ribbon like I wanted to. That was my goal. And I have used some of the paper from Temu. We've got journaling space here, and inside of here. We've used another one of those fun haunted houses. And we used one of the altered paper clips that we made before. So overall, I'd say this is good. It's not great. I want eventually this page to be covered in black, something so we have a lot of contrast there, but I don't have time to do that today. So we're going to call it good for today. Not 100% sure how I feel about this, but you know what? Let's just pretend this side of the page isn't there. That's cute. So sorry about the voiceover and the sound. I can be a real dummy sometimes, but I will try to do better next time. In the meantime, have a wonderful, magical, and bookish day. Happy reading, journaling, or crafting. Adios.